My name is Christoph Koenig. I work as a lecturer at the University of Bristol in the School of Economics, and I work in political economy very generally, but here I'm presenting a paper on the effect of war on politics in Weimar Germany. There is a lot of anecdotal evidence that Germany's World War I veterans are associated with the rise of right-wing parties in Weimar Germany. Many representatives of, say, the Nazi Party have branded themselves as being representatives of the war generation, but this has never really been tested with actual data, and that's what this paper does. I assemble a unique data set, putting together data from elections before and after the war, as well as disaggregated estimates of the number of veterans. I check whether voting behavior changed from before to after the war in relation to whether you had more or less veterans. What I find is kind of confirming the hypothesis. So if you were in an area where you received more World War I veterans, votes went significantly more towards the right, and surprisingly they mainly came from votes from the left. Okay, so left-wing parties were losing out. This is interesting in various ways. So first, why would somebody from the left suddenly start voting for a right-wing party which is capitalist, pro-war and pro-monarchy? This is a bit puzzling, and what I also see is that the effect is very long-lasting, so it's not just in one election after the war, it lasts for a very long time, and the effect hits in immediately after the war. So only 4 months after the war ends, we already see this effect, which makes it very likely that this is something about the war and what veterans must have experienced during the war. From this particular question, you can learn a few things. We can learn about what to watch out for when you had other wars where you had a lot of veterans coming back and how they started voting, how this can change the political landscape, even though of course Germany is a very extreme case because about 1/6 of the entire country was involved in the war at some point. So I hope that we will never have such an extreme case again, but I still think you can learn something about smaller wars. This also kind of ties in with current identity politics, because it's still it's a recurring topic that people who should not be voting for right-wing parties from a purely economic sense or in terms of their politics, but they still do so because they have the better story and manage to convince people to vote against something that they should do.